All right, good evening and welcome to the July 14th, 2026 Zoning Board of Appeals regular monthly meeting for the Village of Ossining. This is a public hearing that is quasi-judicial. We're using a hybrid format for today's meeting, both in person and via Zoom. So members of the public are attending via Zoom. You may use the raise hand feature when it's the appropriate application and time. We will see that. We will let you into the room during that time. If you're attending by phone call, you're going to press *9. That will function as a raise hand that we can see if you need to speak, and we will pull you into the meeting at the appropriate time. During the meeting, you can mail comments to plan@villageofossiningny.com or .gov, sorry. So plan@villageofossiningny.gov. Patty will have access to those emails if you do send them in, and you will be able to act. So when you come up to speak, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you're signed in with your name and your address, just so we have the record for the board secretary. And please limit your comments to the matter which is the subject of that particular application. We are joined today by Maddie Zahach, our assistant village manager, Joe Agostinelli, our building inspector, Jamie Kane, who beautiful voice we heard earlier, that is our board secretary, and actually surprisingly, we're joined by Taryn Ramey on Zoom. We're not surprised. She's got an early trip to plan for. Could we get a call the board, please?
Sure thing. Erica Matias. Here. Olga Montes. Here. Michael Spall.
Here.
Corey Black. Here. Brian Granoff.
Here.
And Chair Aparizic.
Here, we'll start with something simple and by unanimous consent, could I get, I don't know, last month's meetings as just minutes as distributed?
Okay, Corey.
We've got Erica, then Corey. If there's no objections to the minutes, those are approved as distributed. All right, before we head into new business, I just want to say thank you to Corey Block. She is a full-time technical director in, I guess, planning and land use, but she will be, after this meeting, taking over as the chair of the planning board. So I want to thank her for time. Really gonna miss you, but I appreciate all of your contributions. So on to new business of the board. We've got ZBA 07-2025. This is for 229 Spring Street. Applicant is seeking an extension of previously granted variances for minimum lot areas, lots 1 and 2, minimum lot width, lots 1 and 2, minimum front yard setback for lot 1, minimum side yard setback for lot 1, parking in the front for lot 1, tandem parking lot 1, and maximum impervious surface coverage lot 1 as part of a subdivision. I want to state, just to help you out, JB, are you just waiting for signatures on Mylar?
Yes, we obtained all the signatures from the planning board, it's just the health department.
So they're waiting for health department signatures. This is an application we already approved. They're just asking for an extension due to the fact that they're waiting for signatures. So I don't have any questions.
Has anything changed about the work?
No. Nothing.
Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open the
Public
public
hearing
hearing.
and extensions, Mr. Chair.
Seconded. You
Oh, what
know,
was-
public hearing first.
Oh, that's it. Oh my gosh, I always forget. Well, we were going to go beyond the vote.
Above and beyond.
Do we go straight to a roll call vote for this? Or is it unanimous consent?
You should do a roll call vote on this, and just as a reminder, because the full board is here, I believe Erica is not voting tonight, but she can certainly participate.
Okay. We love you. Thanks for being here. Yes. Okay, roll call vote. Oh, we gotta get a motion. We get a motion to approve the extension as outlined, no changes to the application.
Motion to approve Olga.
Seconded, Brian.
Olga, then Brian, and we get a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Brian Granoff.
Aye.
Corey Black. Michael Spall.
Aye.
Olga Montes. Aye. Chair Aparizic.
Hi, all right, Dave, you know the drill. Good luck. And welcome back to whatever application you're here for. ZBA 11-2026, this is for 6 Everett Avenue. Applicant is seeking variance maximum impervious surface coverage and a 2-foot driveway setback. And this is perfect. Okay.
Introduce yourself, give your address, and say hi to the meeting.
I say Martin, I would live, 6 Everett Avenue. Yeah, we're here because we contracted company to, they were working on the neighborhood and they were doing fixings and driveways. So we contracted them. It was Saturday, then they come to the door Tuesday. And I really believe that because we contracted somebody, so they know all the regulations, that the town has. So after 2 months, they received a letter from Mr. Joseph, from, possibly, Farms. So and we are in a big deal with that. So they asked, we are doing everything possible to repair this issue. And they asked for all the papers that they have, so we gave all the papers. We even do the survey. And because they think that I took property from my neighbor, but this survey, no, they told me that everything is in the point that it's supposed to be. And the alpha was on top of the old alpha. So I gave pictures and everything so they can see it.
Yes, thank you. You are the second person that's come, the second household that's come before the board with the same issues. And while it's always unfortunate that happens, I do want to say the reason you're here is because anytime you're feeling just like the gentleman in the back who received a letter for something that is not valid, anytime you feel like I'm not quite sure, you can always reach out to the village planning department to ask. What they did was not in accordance with the law. And they do that sometimes to homeowners, so that's just a future point of reference. We did see the photos, we also did look at a 2023 satellite image just to make sure that the driveway was in the same spot. So it is an in-kind replacement of a pre-existing driveway to the same specifications. We recently had one of these and already discussed, they actually enlarged their driveway, that's not the case here, so having already gone through that discussion, I don't have any questions for this application.
No, I mean, my question was, it wasn't in time, so that answered that.
Even though you're not voting here, so.
So you trusted a contractor to take care of things and
Yes.
they didn't get permits and they didn't, that's the gist of it, is that you didn't go through the application process.
Yes, because I thought they would do it.
Because they, okay.
So these contractors come from either out of state or out of the jurisdiction of Westchester County or the area to illegally do work on people's property. At the end of the day, and this is saying this for the record for the public, it is the homeowner's responsibility to make sure that the work being done is properly permitted, and driveway replacements are permit required. They're free permits, but you do get a permit for that village outside. So just want that for the record, but I don't have any questions. So.
And there's no change in materials, he is, asphalt driveway now is for that.
I can't tell the photos. Was it previously asphalt or gravel?
It was gravel.
In the village of Ossining, gravel, even though it's not considered in every municipality to be a impervious surface, asphalt and gravel in village of Ossining, and I believe are still both impervious surfaces. So that's simple. It's a good question.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Can I get a motion for open public?
Motion to open the public hearing, Cory.
Seconded by.
Yeah, Corey and Mike, if there's no objections to open public hearing. Public hearing is open. Do we have anybody in person or online for 6 Everett Ave? No, okay. Hearing and seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Seconded, Olga.
We have Brian, then Olga. If there are no objections, the public hearing is closed. Do we want to run through the 5 factors on this or have
Yes,
additional?
we should.
Let's run through the 5 factors then, please.
All right, so as the board knows, in determining whether to grant an area variance, the board must consider 5 statutory factors and they must balance them. And considering the benefit to the applicant against any detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The first of the 5 factors you must consider is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created.
No, in this case, it was covering pre-existing and it was going from one impervious surface to another. So I don't see any material change to the character there. Alcohol probably looks better than gravel anyway.
The first time is the same, so.
Okay. The next factor is whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by a feasible alternative to the variance.
If this was from pervious surface to impervious, that would be a different discussion, but considering the facts of the case, I would say no.
I agree. I mean, it seems like they did what they could with what they had.
It goes right into the law. So, here we go.
Yes. So what about that?
Okay. Are we good to move on to the next factor?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. Whether the requested area variance is substantial.
So personally, I feel it is numerically substantial and impact substantial. Although considering the fact that it was already impervious according to the village, that it's slightly mitigating, but we don't usually approve if this application coming before us from scratch, we wouldn't normally approve a 35% point increase in impervious surface coverage. But this is just one of the factors.
I thought there wasn't a, I thought they just
No.
went right over what they have.
So they're allowed 40% on the line, it's 75% impervious surface coverage because of the building coverage and everything else. So traditionally, we would ask an applicant in this situation, although we're seem to not be doing it in this case, given the situation, we would ask them to, like last month, replace with impervious pavers or something to reduce the impact of that. But they already had an impervious surface coverage there, so to me, it seems in kind.
Well, I mean, I understood that they just went right over what they previously had.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm saying it for the record in case things like this come before the board.
Well, Chairman, I think it's probably important that we get those two numbers in as part of our 35% and 10.
Well, so in the
Yeah.
zoning board worksheets, 40% is the max, and they're requesting 75%, so that's a 35%.
That's, I don't,
Yeah,
I don't think it changes much of anything.
no,
Should line with everything else about it.
for me, I think we think it's substantial, but again, that's one of the 5 factors.
Okay. The next factor is whether the variances would have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No, because it's already existing impervious surface.
I mean, if it needed updating, we're only going to approve the look.
Okay, and then finally, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which is relevant to the board's determination, but not necessarily determinative.
Not determinative, and I'm split on this with yes and no, so I would say yes due to trusting a contractor with no record of research, but I would also say no because of the same circumstances. And the size of these lots is very small, so usually these driveways have some requirement for variances, so I'm split. In my mind, I get points for all of these things, and it seems to me that we were leaning towards an approval. So if that is, I believe that I get a motion to approve this application. Is it Sam's?
Seconded, right?
Well, good, then Ryan, you get a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Montez. Alderman Small.
Aye.
Cory Black. Courtney Brown.
Aye.
And Chair Aberrizzi.
Aye. All right, sorry for that contractor situation. In the future, just know that, yeah. All right.
Tell your friends.
Just
So-
call us first.
Don't trust them. Even if they're local.
be careful. Anytime you have adjacent property, you know, you put the survey, make sure the survey's accurate, one, so something else's land.
Felicidades y gracias por su tiempo. Thank you. Gracias. All right, moving on to continuing business of the board, we have 42 Eastern Ave, the applicant is seeking area variances for minimum side yard setback, minimum combined side yard setback, minimum front yard setback, maximum building coverage, and maximum impervious surface coverage for construction of a rear yard addition and front porch. This application was originally submitted in May. They came before the board. We asked them to make some revisions and come back, and so that's why they're here tonight.
Good evening, again, my name is Lynn Santos, I'm the owner of 42 Eastern Avenue. Since our last visit, we did do some modifications to setback requirements that were requested of us. We no longer need the variance for the impervious driveway. We've gone from existing condition of 47.5% to now a 34.2%. Which is an increase of 32.2%. Side property, again, the condition of where the lot is, we're kind of restricted to the existing lot size that we have. So the addition is, the side setbacks that we could adjust, we kind of took in a little bit. So you'll see the side setback went from a 0.5 to a 3.6 now, which is a combined, we were at 9.3 and now we're currently at a 12.9 side setback requirements. So the variance is also minimized there. Again, we're just asking for a variance to do the addition on the same plane of the existing building and the variance of 3.4% for the building.
So, just to restate, it looks like you are improving the front yard setback by 1.3 feet. You are improving closer to the code. You're coming closer to the code by 3.1 feet on one side yard. The combined set yard and combined side yards for that reason are increasing a little bit. Rear yard decreasing, which is great. Impervious surface coverage, which I think was the biggest point of discussion last time, below the standard for our review now. And building coverage is approximately where it was. So I appreciate the attention to making some accommodations to kind of fit in with what you would normally do with some wiggle room. Does anybody have any questions about updates?
Just things that land, like.
And I'm getting all the boxes, so.
Is that what you'd like to see or something else?
Yeah. We get all the box layouts on ours, so we can't see the plans. JB?
We might start asking for compressed plans going forward.
Yeah.
You gonna do anything?
Yeah.
In my character.
Imagine what it's like on my phone.
Thank you.
Anybody else? A public hearing? Well, another opportunity, yeah. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open that public hearing, over.
Seconded, Brian.
We've got Olga and then Brian, if there's no objections to opening the public hearing. Consider it open. Is there anybody other than the applicant here? Nobody online? Anybody in person to speak on this additionally? Okay, I get a motion to close the public hearing.
Oh, Erica, you can't.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
You can't even motion. Sorry. It's crazy.
So let's redo that one.
Motion to close, Cory.
Seconded, Brian.
Corey and then Brian, if there's no objections, public hearing is closed. Could we run through the 5 factors if there are no additional questions? All right, hearing none.
All right, let's do it. So the first factor the board must consider is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by granting the variances.
I'm going to say no, and I want to specifically call out their attention to reducing impervious surface coverage, which is one of the kind of insidious things that happens over time and just increase them. So I really appreciate their effort in taking care of that.
I think everything's pretty in line, general character of the neighborhood.
I can tell it really loaded.
Right? The next factor is whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible or some feasible alternative than the variances. Excuse me.
They already changed their plans to meet the feasibility and they're closer, so.
They are improving many of these to be more in line with the code, which is generally what we'd like to see, but in addition to that, these lots. Escapes, the divide up to do typical driveways, so they're kind of forced in the situation, so I would say, no.
Yeah, building on both is also very.
The next factor is whether the requested variances are substantial.
I'm going to say no on both numeric and substantiality grounds.
I mean, considering they're closer to meeting code than they were, I would say no as well.
Okay. Whether the variances would have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district.
No, not only are they improving impervious surface, or not only do they come closer to code, but by changing the driveway to pervious, they're doing more than most homeowners are with that space on the lot to prevent.
Agreed.
Okay. Then finally, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, which again is relevant to the board's consideration, but not necessarily determinative.
I would say for the driveway, I would say both, no. I was gonna get into building coverage, but
I mean, I would say it is kind of self-created and that the addition, the house exists and is functional as is, so it's not necessarily needed for an addition.
that's where my brain was going. Driveway, no, because that's a size thing, placement, but addition, sure. But it's not, yeah. All right, it seems like we're leaning for a motion to approve, so I can get a motion to approve this application, it's DA 1026.
For Brian,
Brian and Corey. Roll call.
Okay. Brian Grandma,
hi,
Cory Black, Michael Spall,
Aye.
Hilda Montes.
Hi.
Sarah Anderson.
Aye. All right, congratulations. They will send you a signed letter from the office in a couple weeks, so just again, look up for that.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Last on the list for tonight, because there's nothing additional, it's DBA 2026, 28 to 30 Apple Street. Applicant is seeking a variance for proposing to extend a non-conforming use beyond the permitted 10% by constructing additional livable space in the basement of a 3-family house located in a 2-family district. Before, again, I just want to say, I was informed that this is, I think, the first applicant that has gone through the pre-application meeting with the full-time staff. This is something the board had requested maybe 6+ months ago. Anytime someone is going to expand on conforming use beyond 10% for their benefit, so they have all the information, they met in advance. Because of that meeting, I believe, and you can tell us that you made modifications to your plan.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm Michael. This is my wife Katerina Borelli. We're the owners of 2830 Apple Street. We're here today to seek approval to legalize the existing finished basement by connecting it to our owner occupied first floor apartment with a new interior spiral staircase. This was what we were under the impression, having lived there for 14 years, an existing finished basement. We were under the impression it was legal. The additional living space is being requested and needed to accommodate the growing needs of our family while bringing the existing basement into compliance. The unit would increase from 670 square feet to 876 square feet by incorporating 206 square feet of the existing basement space. It is original plan, I think, had it at 50%, maybe more. I'm not sure how the original architect had it. We did reduce it down, I think, by over 20%. So we're requesting today for a 20% area variance beyond the 10% permitted. The proposal will not alter the building footprint or exterior appearance or the neighborhood character, or surrounding property values because of utilizing the existing interior space. Granting this variance and connecting the existing basement to the first floor apartment is the practical means of meeting the family needs while legalizing the existing space. The project only involves interior work, which is a spiral staircase and some partition walls to be able to accommodate the connection. And it would not increase in previous coverage, stormwater runoff, or create any adverse environmental impacts. So the need for the variance results from the property's longstanding non-conforming status, not for any new self-created condition. So we're, here today to respectfully request the zoning board grant the area variance as a reasonable solution to legalize the existing space while staying in compliance with the zoning code.
Pretty much to our defense, the way the whole thing was situated was when we bought the house, violation came that these people had a violation of having illegal basement apartment, right? And there was pictures of it, right? So we look at the pictures and okay, the situation got resolved. Everything we saw was, okay, so this is a product of resolved violation, right? So we weren't even thinking twice and we wouldn't even get the mortgage if that was a violation or open violation, right? Like that. So we're like, okay, this is the result of, they had a stove there, the building department had them take out a stove, and stuff like that. So we're under the impression, okay, let's buy the house. Everything that was in violation got resolved and this is the outcome of it. Now we're living there for like 14 years.
We've been utilizing it as
Utilizing
a habitable space.
Right, and they're like, okay, well, guess what? You gotta put everything, this is just a storage space. I'm like, how can you, like, I understand, but like, we have a 2,200 square foot apartment, house, and the whole house is 2,200 square feet, that we would have 500 or 600 square feet of that house, a storage space, like, how can we, why, like, I'm like, why wasn't this resolved when there was a violation? Why weren't they like, okay, you gotta rip everything out, this bathroom shouldn't be here, this shouldn't be there, and stuff like
So we've been
that, so.
utilizing it as our own personal space for the last 14 years.
The
The fire inspections that were recently implemented where we had nothing to have, brought them in and they said, hey, this is not habitable space, this is storage. So like, since.
Well, we got the paper.
Yeah, then we got the violation in the mail and then that kind of started the ball on this, so. But ever since we've owned it, it's always been deemed to us.
We understand that we're buying a problem, we get that. That's not what we're saying, like, we understand we're buying a house, we're buying a problem, but we were under the impression that problem got resolved and this is the
Yeah.
outcome of the problem. And, and we weren't aware that, and we tried to dig deeper into more history of the house, but then we find out that all the paperwork on it, we have an evidence in the house that it used to be a spiral staircase because it's cutting up the wall, right? So the architect told it used to be part of the downstairs, but they cut it off and made an apartment there instead of like, so they cover, but it's still an opening there that was spiral staircase before.
Yes, thank you. There will be time for more commentary. I just want to give the board,
Right, no,
ask
of course.
questions. These are the first floor construction plans, which are grayed out because most of that is not being changed. It's the below, correct, in the basement?
Yeah,
So this, I have a few questions about, if we vote today, one thing I think is important is that these plans that are properly submitted, a condition of approval might be, if Karen's okay with this, that these plans show what's in that other space, the no workspace? Or is that just earth? Is there nothing there?
Where are you looking?
No work on the left side?
This is
under the deck, I think.
this is the garage.
Okay,
There's no basement here.
No, that's just outside.
This would be another apartment above this, but there's no access to a basement, it's just concrete.
Got
So
it.
it's earth, but you.
It's earth.
It's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So there's not a cross space.
No.
Okay.
There's like a
Right here
small white.
is like, yeah, there's like,
Mhm.
like a storage in a sense, like you could put things in there.
yeah,
It's
so
rocks,
yeah.
foundation rocks and
just
stuff.
because we require this of pretty much everyone that comes before us, if we are approving plans on this level, we just need to make sure that there's labels in those areas so that if there's
Okay.
discrepancy in the future,
Yeah.
Okay.
both sides are protected. So you can say, no, they knew it was this, we knew it was this. So you would label that as garage, you would label this as no
Ah,
access.
okay.
I don't know if
Still
there's-
labeled where it would say no work.
Yeah, no work on what? No work because of usually.
Dry storage.
Exactly. So those three spaces would have,
Okay.
notifications. And is, normally that symbol right there is for like a window, access to the basement. What is that outcropping in the bottom of no work?
This one right here,
Yeah,
that would be like, do you have the one that has the pictures of the front of the house?
Is it this, or is it somewhere else in the plans?
Oh, maybe it's not in here? Is this right here?
The top right one.
top.
Can you zoom in that one?
This here.
You see this
Yeah.
little like
Mhm.
dog house for the front door?
Alright, I'm looking ahead of me, not behind me. This one there, okay.
Got it. So it's more of like a foundation for that outcropping.
It's, yeah, kind of like a dog house entry. You kind of walk
It's a
in,
mudroom, like.
like it's, yeah, it's like you
Like a
walk in.
closet.
Well, the mudroom is on the first level,
Oh,
not the basement.
garage, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the basement would be connecting to this unit. This would be the work in question.
Yep.
This is separate.
Just because you're including that work in the full plan, just getting labels for what each of those things are.
Okay, so that box.
Yeah, anytime you have a room, even if it's not a room, it should be
Okay.
labeled so that these aren't even questions.
Porch above.
Yeah, exactly, something simple.
Label it.
We see a lot
From
of
the
old
building or
plans
something?
that don't have labels, and that's where a lot of questions come up. You should protect yourself and just properly label those extra spaces.
So we want our,
Yeah,
The
I'll take notes.
architect know, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said you would use the proposal?
yes, significantly.
The original plan.
We,
I think,
original plan, we just wanted to legalize what we have,
Was,
right?
I think like at 50%.
Yeah,
What other,
The two storage spaces were bedrooms, I believe, right?
Yes.
Right, so just for some color on this, months ago, the applicant's architect and the applicants met with the village staff and they reviewed their initial proposal, which was showing a more expansive use of this basement space than what initially showed. I believe it was close to like a 50% or so increase, and so staff, we communicated to the applicant that it's typically the board's practice to limit the increase in a non-conforming residential area, really to meet code requirements. And so with that feedback, the applicant revised their application and came back with this.
I mean, we would love to have the whole basement the way it is, but, you know, we reduce it significantly just so we don't donate quarter of our home to a storage space, you know?
No, we were from the state and
Yeah,
we understand you guys have your zoning and stuff, but we're starting, we're
We,
trying to work as best as we can to.
right.
it's always a balance, and we've had applicants before us who we've denied those applications, so we can't just approve and deny whoever we want. We have to kind of maintain a standard.
Sure.
I think your attempt at a first pass, this is the whole reason the board said, before applications come to us with these kind, they go to the full-time staff, and this is exactly what was meant to happen. They give them good advice, they go back, they make changes based on that advice before it comes here, so we're not making them do back and forth month over month.
My question relates is Joe still with us or not?
Mhm.
The building
You
inspector?
better be with us, you got a lot of years left, Joe.
Well, I
Anyway, my
do have
question was
I do
maybe-
have a question about something on the plans here because you're calling an area storage, but essentially you're keeping kitchen cabinets and the sink and everything there according to these plans, right? So, because on the
we-
bottom it says existing sink to remain, existing
From
cabinets to
what-
remain, which was a kitchen.
Yeah,
So,
from what the, what we were told is that it's okay to have cabinets for the storage there, so, I think you left the sink as like a wet sink. I don't think he saw an issue with that being
The
as
only
like a
reason
wet.
why I'm bringing this up was because the violation that was issued was for this level being an apartment. So, I mean, if you're gonna propose the plans the way they are here and attest to them being storage spaces, I mean, the house is, I believe, a legal three-family house, so it would be subjected to inspections periodically, so, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna
I'm
come
not
in.
trying to make any type of conclusions or accusations, but the fact that you have a current violation for an apartment, and it appears that these rooms here are remaining, one which is a finished storage room that looks like there's still a closet and it's a bedroom there, and the area that was a kitchen is pretty much remaining as it is. You know, there is still, on my part, for the building department, a concern for this, and it's not making an accusation, but it's just because you had an open violation for this already.
So if I can ask, or it wasn't us, it was the previous owner who had a violation, the violation got resolved.
So the violations are with the property, not the person.
Right, but it wasn't us who were dealing with the issue, what I'm saying is. And that violation got resolved. We did not put the cabinets there. This is all how the building department, and I don't know who was the person who approved it, okay, you guys are okay to go. But in the eyes of the building department, their apartment was okay to go.
I have a question.
Well, I would differ with that, because if that was the case, a violation wouldn't have been issued. But if you have, if all I'm bringing to the point is that like the board has said, some of the areas that you show no work and so forth, we're going to need to know what those areas are actually going to be used as. And, you know, it's just the fact that there was a violation issued for this. I mean, this was a fourth apartment, I believe, correct? And your house was registered always, and it was always listed in your tax record as a three-family. So, you know, I think that there was enough information that indicated that this was always a condition and always a problem. There was a violation, as you're saying, was issued previously, even if it was to the previous owner. So, you know, you can present this as it is, you can present it as it is, and it's all well and good, and the board can review this and all, but when a time comes to actually legalize this with this, you're gonna have to give me a lot more detail than what I'm looking at.
Joe, is there a need for a kick-out window in the basement? So similar to what we've seen in other projects where there's no way for basement residents to leave?
I'm sorry, I can barely hear what you're saying.
He's asking about the kick-out windows for egress and fire, in case of fire.
Well, the egress windows would be required in any bedrooms. I mean, they're proposing one bedroom downstairs. That window, he's marked it, I believe, as A, which I'm assuming is to install an egress window there. Any ones that they're saying that are finished storage would not be required to have egress windows, or like I said, they're calling them storage rooms. I mean, if it turns out that, you know, there are people actually sleeping in there, or it would become a fire hazard, or the fact that they wouldn't have a proper egress in case of a fire, which is why I'm saying that if they are granted the variance, when this is submitted to the building department, there's gonna have to be a lot more detail added to this plan to prevent situations like rooms becoming bedrooms and not having proper safety in place. So, I mean, we'll deal with it when it comes to the building department, but.
So, can I ask a question? So, Joe, in order to not have to, I mean, assuming we were to get a variance and the board had no issue with where we are right now, in order to get to a point where we're not having to jump through hoops and make it a smooth transition, what exactly would you like to see where you would feel comfortable, so I can address this with the architect?
Yeah.
Prior to getting
Well,
that?
when we review this, he'll get a list of items that he'll need to add on the plans, and then that copy will also go to you, and he can make those adjustments. There'll be additional information on here, so we'll address that at a review.
Yeah, the fire egress kind of thing, that's not even an us decision, that's a New York State law. That's like a required thing.
Right.
We're just approving the use of the space inside the building as you presented it, but it, you know, walls being appropriate and everything being code, that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, I wanted to, so before I was asking about the change. I guess I didn't ask exactly what I wanted, but like what had changed on this, so I'm guessing that you had livable space that you, or that you wanted to be livable space.
We originally proposed
that you are now
keeping
showing.
it how we were using it as the full basement.
So that's like the storage area that you're showing.
Yeah, so the entire basement was what we have been utilizing for our family the last 14 years, was the entire basement.
So am
So
I,
we positioned it that let's put it and present it to the board that we wanna just keep it as it has been. And then they came back that you're essentially increasing the footprint or requesting a 50% increase from the existing unit, and then so we had to scale it back to what you're seeing.
And if I'm correct, I believe if we have the original submission, the plan also included at that time a small addition in the back for a staircase instead of the spiral staircase, which would have
Correct.
connected the upstairs first floor to this level. And all those spaces where you see the spiral staircase in the area that says no work, the finished storages
Yes.
were actual living space. And what was
So
changed
you
is
guys
they
have-
removed that addition and put in a spiral staircase and limited what's going to be habitable.
so as it is now, you come down the spiral staircase and. To get to bathroom, on the other side, you walk through storage.
No, you have to go outside, there's no door here.
Okay.
They added a wall. So these plans are not the kinds of plans they would need to do like code enforcement approval. Those were some of the things I was getting at. But we can still make a decision as long as we state it and it's in writing, like what the expectations are. But they're adding this wall, they're adding that wall, and door here, there's no way to get here.
I mean,
This you here, outside.
We have to go outside, we have the same issue with the laundry, you know, when we need to go from our apartment, we need to go outside. And go into from the outside, we have to enter the laundry room. You know, so it's been like pain in the butt, because it's in the winter time especially, so. I'll go outside.
so wait, you still have to,
Yes.
you still have to go outside. To go downstairs,
So now we would connect it to the apartment, we would connect it to upstairs unit, so we have a stairs going down instead of going outside of the house to enter.
so there are two staircases being proposed?
I think it's supposed to be a door.
Yeah, how do you get from the spiral staircase to the bathrooms?
There's supposed to be, I think, a door here to get into this bed.
And so typically you wouldn't walk through habitable living space to an uninhabitable living space to get to another habitable living space, which is why you're doing that spiral staircase to connect them, right? So that's weird then that you're storage separating two living spaces, right? This isn't the whole point to combine the living spaces.
Like a contiguous.
Right, it's supposed to be contiguous.
Yes, there must be something not right with this, because I was under the impression there's an opening to get to this.
So I think we can address two things. One is we're gonna need plans that accurately reflect the intention, because whatever's approved, you're gonna be held to that. The property will be held to that in perpetuity until something changes in the future. And we've seen plans like that are 20, 30 years old for a home that are kept on record. So those need to accurately reflect exactly what you intend to do. And then I'm not a building inspector planning person, and so I don't know the specifics, but Joe's office to help you guide your architect for what needs to be on there to accurately represent.
So, I guess my question would be how I mentioned, asked Joe, and he said when we get to that phase, he would look at whatever changes or things that it would require from the architect to question or
Well, I
modify.
don't think it represents what you intended, what you said right now is not on the plan. So I think there's a disconnect between you and us.
Joe's
Joe.
asks for like just additional labels, essentially, it wasn't changing anything on the plan, what we're talking about. It's changed because there's no door shown, something is gonna be changing, so it's not just what Joe was asking.
Right, looking at the plans, there are more questions than there are answers. And we need to be able to know everything without having you to explain.
Because if you were to approve this tonight, you couldn't install a door, that'd be a wall, because you don't show a door.
I didn't even pick up.
I'm always what comes to plans, our architect handles all that stuff, I don't even know. I just figured that's a spot.
No, I didn't even
Yeah,
pick up on.
So we are like, we put our faith in the architect, like, hey, you know. We need to legalize the space and give us a plan, or we need to cut back on it, so he gave us another set of plan, which is this. But we addressed with the architect, and then I guess you guys can give us the summary, we have a summary of all.
Well, I think that really that don't represent what you want. What normally happens is we get a plan that's like exactly what you want, and then we have to comment on what we see. Right now, we can't comment on that because it's not there. So we can't approve a plan that's incomplete. It's essentially what's happening.
And so I think one issue, Joe and Taryn, I would love you guys to chime in on this. The living space would need to be contiguous, correct?
Right, that's the question I actually just was going to ask Joe. You know, if they do in fact need to walk through that unfinished storage area to access the bathrooms, to me that would be considered part of the dwelling unit that should be calculated as part of the living area being added to that basement unit. Joe, is that?
Yeah, I would say so. But the way they're showing it on the plan, those bathrooms are not part of it, right? Because it's all solid walls, there's no connection. And then the
Right.
question is to ask if you're using the space downstairs as a laundry room and some storage for tenants in the building that don't necessarily go into the space that's added for the first floor apartment. I mean, my question would be, well, then why do you have two full bathrooms down there? So I think the configuration of the way it's being presented is something validated for the board to consider because, you know, I can address with them, you know, specifics regarding New York State code and requirements and so forth and practicalities, but the layout and what they want to propose it to be has to be explained to the board, right? So I'm not still sure on this, how you access these bathrooms and so forth. Are you saying these bathrooms are going to be part of the first floor addition?
This is the boiler room and then laundry accessible to this first floor unit. And
There's apartment above it,
this is the apartment where you question this door was this apartment. And
Yeah,
So how
I
do
don't
you
think
get
that's
to
the
the-
question.
Wait, how do you get?
there's stairs here and there's an.
outside, you gotta go outside of the apartment to go into that bathroom and laundry room.
Stairs and then you have
So
the
that's like,
laundry room,
yeah, that's a separate
like one room,
laundry,
laundry room.
yeah. So
So this is the end, so for this. There's another door up for the first floor unit, and then you go down the stairs, and then there's an entrance here to get into here. So this is like a second form of egress down here. You walk in and then you walk into this space. This is closed off as a wall. This is here, this is all existing, all this is existing.
They don't have any right now.
So there's almost three spaces as in this plan, there's the spiral staircase, which comes down to those two rooms.
Yeah, from the upstairs
Yeah.
unit that we're requesting to connect.
Yeah. And then there's a separate storage area and the one bathroom.
Yeah, so this is all, everything you see from here is already existing, except for there's a wall here. This is like a two shed, and then the proposal is to open this up and tie in from the upstairs unit, this spiral staircase. And then if you have the other plan, you could see the second one. This one,
Not,
This is
first
Yeah.
or ever.
Is there the?
Application?
No,
No.
the back, no, that's,
No, the application, this is why we need a plan that.
Okay, that's why
We need to use a lot more.
Yes, all this is pre-existing and right now that's a veteran.
Do you have this, one?
They submitted a plan to legalize what they had, which was a 50% increase of.
Was it? Or maybe, yeah. I think so, I think I have the same
They're
year.
having this, according to the ordinance, this wall.
First look, just for
Yeah.
So this,
You have this random storage space like that, that's weird, this year.
So- so this is the first floor.
Uh-huh.
This is the first floor. This is the other unit. This is the first floor. This is the entrance to that first floor. And then you would walk in. The new proposal is to make an opening here. And then come down the spiral staircase, gain access into the basement where we're connecting this unit to the basement. So that you have right here, right?
And what is your goal that you're trying to connect it to a bedroom, is that? Or like, cause it's hard to see what's happening here, so just tell me, what are you trying to connect the spiral staircase to?
The original goal was to not lose
Not the
what we
original.
thought was the habitable space of the basement, but then we brought it back. And was to have the utilization of the third bedroom.
Okay.
So we didn't lose the third bedroom.
Okay, so
No,
to Joe's point
no.
about converting things back into, what they were and trying to look ahead at potential violations, kind of. The closet in the new finished storage room, I would probably ask for that to be removed because that could easily be turned back into a bedroom. This year, right, Cory? Yes, exactly.
okay.
So is everybody,
Well-
board on the same page that the laundry room and single bathroom to the left side is a separate portion of the structure?
Yeah.
Right. And that other bathroom is stored, currently
Yeah.
stored room bathroom, the only questions I now have are that wall. Because if you intend to walk through there, it's
I mean, I understand what they're explaining because they're here explaining. We want to be able to understand it, looking at the drawings without somebody explaining to me.
Yeah, the plans normally are so explicit that there's no question. It's
Yeah.
like, here's,
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, the plans that we saw when we were mocking it up were. I didn't see this wall here. I thought it was just a flow.
So that,
Figuring-
I'm guessing your architect added that because you said you're trying to make that area smaller,
Yeah.
right? And so the minute you put a door on that and you want the bathroom as a part of it or whatever, then that all kind of adds up,
Becomes
right?
what
So
it
you
is.
put that wall to get you down to that percentage that you were looking for.
Yeah, okay, but I know we talked about, still having the use of the bathrooms, I don't know. I guess I have to speak to him on what the door process.
so just to be explicit, what Corey's saying, which is exactly right, if you open that wall up or put in a door in it, you've just destroyed your intent, you've now increased the amount you're asking for. Does that become?
If you, Joe, also maybe comment if I'm wrong, if you put that door in to the storage space and that interior, like it's for interior access, I would almost ask that the bathroom be removed then, because that would be storage, right? It would be. If
So-
they wanted. Or I guess the
bathrooms
bathrooms
not
are
habitable space.
throwing me off, I think, and how would we treat?
According to our architect, you can't count a bathroom as habitable space.
Right, but our code doesn't talk about the increase of habitable space. This is livable space. Right, this is a two-family zone district, so when you're calculating the size of apartments, it's livable. So any of that space that you increase is livable space, right? If you're gonna add to that, it's not just it's not habitable space, it's livable space. And livable includes those areas, including the bathrooms.
If I may, I think the board needs a little more information before it can make a decision on this application tonight. I would suggest the applicant come back with a plan, first off labeling the unlabeled spaces and clarifying how that will be used, but also really showing how the extension of the basement will be used and how it'll be connected to the first floor unit. How will you flow through the whole unit? That'll be helpful in the board understanding the plan, but also being able to verify, the use of the space and also the calculations. Because I think there's a lot of back and forth about what the intent might be, and if we can't discern that from plans, then it's kind of becoming unproductive.
To your point, Taryn, about calculations, and I think what's part of the reason why it's hard to understand what's happening here is I would like, and I think you have it with the hatch, maybe, I guess, but a hatch usually denotes something else, is that, I guess that's the one room that we're, what do I wanna say here? Usually, if I would like an outline, say this is what we're creating as habitable space or something like that, and I think you could probably do.
We have a lot of examples on our website every month, because all of this is publicly available. So if you look at any of the plans from things we've approved before, you'll see what she's asking for. They show existing and proposed.
Yeah, I guess that would be a question for our architect.
Yeah, or direct him there, because these are standard, they're not like some random thing just we asked for.
Right. I guess my frustration, and I don't wanna bring it out on anyone, is how the town goes okay, you have a violation, this has to be fixed. Violation gets resolved. We have
So
an
I don't think there
outcome.
was a violation. Joe said there was no violation issued, so nothing was violated, nothing was proposed. It was there and we didn't know about it.
No, that's not.
We did a FOIL request.
Yeah,
Okay.
And we
There's
had a
the
bunch
picture.
of, we had a bunch of, information about violation,
Okay, so that, we can't do anything about that here, that.
no, about, hold on a second, I can prove that I have a pictures of there's this illegal apartment here, this is the pictures of it.
Mhm.
And I can go and take a pictures of it right now, and the same cabinets are there, same bathroom is there, same everything is there. So when we bought a house, we were under impression that the building department did its job, correct?
They didn't approve a fourth unit though. They didn't approve an entire different unit. I
Correct,
think.
but we're not gonna have a fourth unit, we're connecting pretty much the basement to the upstairs.
So what is, I think. What was the square footage, what's the square footage on the tax roll?
That was my question, that's what I wanted to find out, if I'm paying taxes on actually something that is supposedly a storage. And that was the question I had from my architect, and my architect said, well, that doesn't have anything to do with this, the taxes and stuff like that. But I 100% wholeheartedly believe that we're paying on 2,200 square feet.
Because if it was connected at 120,
Yes,
is there?
Well, let me
the
just tell
possibility
you.
That it was legal at one point.
yes.
Well, let
Yeah.
me just tell you this. The tax assessor will tax you on whatever they see and whatever they find out in information. They're not concerned about what's actually legal and what's not. They will tell you that themselves. If you put up a listing of a home and they find out somebody had finished storage space or finished basement and they advertise it, they will tax you on that. So the tax record is not actually the legal body of telling you what you actually have. And if a violation was issued to you, whether I'm not sure right now because I'm not looking at it, if you have a violation notice or if you have a court appearance ticket, any documentation that you have that wants to prove your case on your side, that what you had there is legal and so forth, then you're gonna have to prove that against your violation that was
Yeah.
issued to you. So
Our
that's not
assessor,
here for
when
the
they came to our
ZBA
house,
to do
measuring
anything
spaces,
with that.
that's it. They're like, this is what you're using, this is what you're taxed on, your village, this is their taxable square footage.
Okay, I've lived in other places.
Yeah.
I can unfortunately confirm that that's the case.
Yes.
Okay, I've
So
been
the
in other
building
places where
department
it's
records
also
will be
the
So-
building.
So for today, I'm pretty confident, correct me if I'm wrong, that we cannot vote today.
No.
Or we don't have a plan that we can vote on that accurately represents your intention for moving forward. So if the walls need to change or the labels need to change, when it was just labels, it's one thing, but if you don't expect that wall to be there, you need to address that in advance, get the correct plan submitted. If you need guidance on what counts and what doesn't, Joe's office would be the office for that.
So I guess the question I would have, if would you be able to pull up that drawing number? Is, I guess, what from your, a standpoint from the zoning board, do you feel confident in so that I don't have to, because when I make revisions with my architect, it's gonna cost me.
We can't legally negotiate with you
Right,
about
okay.
what will and will not get you passed. okay?
Right,
What I will say is, do you intend for there to be a wall cutting off that top space and the bottom space?
Which space? This space?
Yes, do you intend that wall to be there? Because right now, if we approve it, you have to put that wall
So
in, with no door.
if this, because if I'm trying to tie in this bathroom,
But
but I don't see the,
We're looking at the plans now, so does that wall with no door, is that what you want?
Basically,
no, ideally I wanted to have a bathroom.
right, so basically what we're
So
saying
can I
is,
maybe
whatever
rephrase
you
that
put in the
discussion?
papers, whatever you submit is what we'll vote on, and that's what you'll have to follow.
Yes, right now, if we were to vote on this and approve it, you put a wall up, no door, and you only
We
access
can't-
the bathroom and that other space from outside. That's your plan that you submitted.
We can't advise you on what would work best for you. That's a
Right.
conversation with you and the architect, and maybe if you have questions with Joe. But for us to be able to make a decision for you, we need clarity. We
Right,
need to be able to read those plans and without you explaining anything,
Right.
know everything.
100% agreed, I know you're not advising, but just like we were told, 50% is too much. We need to
50%.
scale it back.
So we've never approved 50% and we rarely approve 20%. So we can't tell you what to do. It's not legal for us to tell you what you need to do to check the box.
Right.
We are concerned that it's a very dense area, Havel Street. You have no additional parking, so it's part of the plan. Well, we wanna be sure that the plan itself reflects the fact that there will be no additional units. It's not gonna be.
Oh, yeah, no.
And we're gonna be subject
Yeah.
to have a fire inspection.
Yeah, I
You don't
mean,
wanna put stuff
we would be
outside.
setting ourselves up for
Yeah.
failure, you know that you've implemented your inspections every 3 years or however.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Maddie,
it's
would you,
trouble.
can you do me a favor, Maddie? Could you just go up to the first floor page of this for a minute, please? Okay, so am I just have to ask, I just want to ask the applicants this. Am I to assume that the apartment on the right that's shaded in blue, that with the downstairs will be one apartment?
Yes,
So, okay, so go back up for a minute. So what I'm talking about in the design for you is you have a kitchen, you have a bedroom, you have a bedroom, you have a bathroom, downstairs a bedroom. Where's your common living space? Just the dining room? Because again, that's why I'm talking about things in New York State Code that your architect's supposed to be aware of. You have to have a certain size living area of an apartment. And that's not portrayed in this plan, right? So there has, well, what I'm saying is correct because I know what I'm talking about because I do this every day. So you need to talk to your architect and he has to present a proper plan that not only is just for the zoning board to view, that's also going to be code compliant to state regulations, local regulations, and then you have to know what you want to do. So is the bathroom downstairs going to be connected with this? Is it not? What you have to portray what these things are going to be because right now the way this looks is you're asking the zoning board to design what you could do. If I open the wall here, will you approve that? They can't do that. You need to find out what you're going to present, what is compliant with all code regulations, then bring it to the board and see what you have and what you're going to, if you're going to need any variances for going over the amount that you're allowed to increase on. And that's considered a livable space. When he's talking to you about habitable space, he's not telling you the right information. So we're gonna need to regroup on this and come back.
Right. So just show us what you want to do. Show us how you want to use the basement space and how that will connect to the first floor. Show us your plan, how it all connects together, and then this board will be able to have, I think, a more intelligent discussion about the variance.
The takeaway from the pre-meeting was 50% likely not gonna cut it. We can't guarantee that, they're just going off the history of decisions we've made.
Yeah.
So if you made the attempt to change it, unfortunately, the plans are not accurate, but they're also not listing things that are normally on, like legal plans that are submitted.
Yeah, I guess we got let down by our architect. I don't know, talk bad about anybody.
No, I think what it is that, we trying to make changes to try to be in a position where we can, get it approved, and we missed certain things, labels and probably.
We're not judging, we're just saying we can't.
But I'm looking at.
Corey is gonna have, unless somebody has something, dire, I would prefer that Corey is the last word. I think she had something additional to add that's different.
Sorry, I'm gonna talk about like the square footage itself. We talked about like percentages, but I know some of the guidance that they were given was like, we usually like to bring things up to your code. So I kind of wanted to talk about it real quick in that context for a second. It looks like the code existing is 670 square feet.
Yep.
And then they're proposing 306. How does that line up with building?
800 minimum. So they're bringing it to just over minimum, which we produced before. Like in context, that makes sense. It's all the additional stuff that would be out of.
Right. So just want we haven't quite made that.
Yeah.
So I just think that is in line with code, what something to do seems to be in line with what,
I have a question. Is a staircase viewed as livable in the square footage?
Yeah, because it's air conditioned, it's connecting the two spaces, yes. And once again, you want to go through unlivable or uninhabitable space to get to a habitable space again, or livable, however you call it. But so yes, it would all be.
But this gets considered. These are clarifications that I think you're decide to use someone else. They should know that, and be able to talk to you about that. If they're confused, then they can reach out to the planning to clarify to make sure that they're totally aligned. Because you should be getting good advice. But for today, we can't vote. So what I would like to do is suggest a vote for adjournment.
Do you want to open the public hearing first and adjourn it?
Oh my gosh, yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna get a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion to open the public hearing, Brian.
Seconded.
We got Ryan and Olga. If there are no objections to opening the public hearing. Public hearing is open. Maddie's still nobody online, and I only see the applicant in the room. So can I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Motion to adjourn, Brian.
Second, Corey.
Brian and Corey, if there are no objections to adjourning the public hearing is adjourned. And may I get a motion to adjourn this application?
Seconded, Olga.
We got Corey with her final votes and Olga. If there are no objections do we need to do roll call on an adjournment?
No.
Now, if there are no objections to adjourning, we will adjourn this to the next regularly scheduled meeting. Final advice would be Joe's office will know the exact specifications, but it might be beneficial for you and your architect to maybe talk to him together so you get more informed about the requirements and you can kind of test your architect to make sure that you're.
Yeah, is it advisable to send a message, to the building department? I took down some notes, but I may have missed some of the things that you guys would have liked to see today.
And I don't mean to sound any sort of way. What's missing is some standard things that belong on a plan, like.
So that you should
basics.
know.
And then making sure the plans align with the local definitions of livable and that you know what that means, or the architect comes here to be represented on your behalf, so we do that. But Joe am I volunteering you in properly, Joe? Your office?
No, they, if they'd like, you can have your architect reach out to me and we can work on this to straighten it out.
And by the way, if you think you might have missed something, these meetings are recorded and they're posted to YouTube. So you can go back and you can watch any portion of it just in case if you want more information. If you forgot something.
Yeah, everything here, transcript, everything, every meeting we have.
Oh, okay, is there, how would I go find this recording?
Once it gets posted, I'll. to you.
Oh, you will?
Yeah, so it's easy. Yeah.
Then you can send it to him, and be like, this was our meeting and figure out what we would do.
All right, so with that, can I get a motion to adjourn our meeting?
Motion to adjourn meeting by.
Secondly, Mike.
We got Brian and then Mike, so being adjourned, if there's no objections. Amazing, see you all next time, and thank you, congratulations again, Corey. Chairman.
Thanks
So
everybody. Thanks,
obviously, I'm
Corey.
gonna need to have some time to make some changes, so am I like,
I'm gonna end the meeting.